Alright, hey you guys, it is TsubakiSwagg, and I'm coming to you with a review of Kiru Kiru, episode 4, Dawn of a Miserable Morning. Okay, all I have to say about this episode, well, I have, of course, more to say. The first thing I have to say about this episode is they are starting to be just like Senyu. Like, this episode was so on Senyu status as for it being really, I'm not gonna say stupid, but I guess that's the word I'm getting at. It was really dumb, but it was funny. I will admit I laughed like all the way through this episode, but the fact that it was so silly just made me think of Senyu, even though Senyu is a pretty great show. But anyways, so in this episode, Dawn of a Miserable Morning, this is the episode where the Academy has a no late day, and at 4 a.m. in the morning, an alarm goes off in the slums, which is where all the no stars live, and they have to make it through pretty much 1,000 obstacles to get to the school before 8:30, and if they don't make it there by 8:30, then if they're late, they are expelled on the spot from the Academy. Which really sucks if you think about it. It's really effed up to do that. But anyways, so, of course, Ryoko was having a nightmare. Like, it starts off, Ryoko was having a nightmare about Senketsu being, like, torn to shreds, and she pops up, and then the alarm goes off. And, of course, Mako got up and was running around the room panicking, and Mako was like, what am I gonna do, blah, 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 blah. And Ryoko was like, what in the world is going on? I'm not even sure what's going on. And then she heard Senketsu, like, saying somebody was trying to murder him, and she went out in the house, and Mako's mom was scrubbing him. So he was saying he was being murdered because he was being washed. But anyways, so Ryoko was like, I can take it from here. And of course Mako's mom was acting a fool, and she was like, what do students do? They go to school. What do housewives do? They do laundry. So she pretty much said that she is going to wash Senketsu whether Ryoko wanted her to or not. And pretty much she was like beating on him and put iron to him, but it was really weird because he kind of had like the creeper moan after a while with the iron. He said the iron was like melting all the wrinkles away. It was kind of weird. But anyways, so after that, Mako and Ryoko went outside, and when they went to go outside, there was a whole bunch of people trying to get to the school or get to the academy. And this is when Mako pretty much explained to Ryoko that today was no late day, and pretty much they had to get to the school by 8:30 or they were going to be expelled from class, or expelled from the academy. So Ryoko, of course, being herself, was like, okay, I think I can do this. And then of course Ira, the head of the discipline committee, came up and was talking to everybody and pretty much pointed out Ryoko off the bat. First he pointed her out for having on pajamas, and then he pointed her out and said that she's not going to get to school without Senketsu. And Ryoko, of course, being bad as she is, she was like, you know what, I'm going to make it there in my pajamas because you want to talk about my pajamas anyways. So after that, they start. And before they even get all the way up the steps, a trap like comes, and they all like almost fall to their death except for Ryoko and Mako. So throughout this whole thing, and then they come across a girl named Mako, and she pretty much was just like, she had a broken arm, but she said she hurt her arm in the first obstacle. So Ryoko, being the nice person she is, she pretty much said she would help Mako get up to the school, or get up to the academy with her and Mako. So pretty much Ryoko did all the work getting them up to the school, and we get through a lot of the checkpoints, and Mako keeps like almost making Reiko die and all this kind of stuff. And of course, Mako is not helping because she's just kind of there. But anyways, they get to the 1-star like condos, and they see a bus, and the bus is like driving, and bombs are going off, like landmines are going off, and they're like, how are they getting through the landmines? It's not fair. They get to be in a bus, and the bus is armored. So Mayuko fell in the street, and then Mako, and Mayuko pretty much hijacked the bus and was driving through the 1-star condos. And this stuck out to me. I don't know why, but there was a woman breastfeeding, and she pulled out a like walkie-talkie and pretty much told them that they had hijacked the bus. The No Stars, Raiko, Mako, and Maiko had hijacked the bus. So while she was still breastfeeding, she pulled out a Tommy gun and started shooting at the bus, and then everybody started shooting at the bus, and they were shooting RPGs and all this kind of stuff. Well, I mean, it was funny because Mako, like, they put her on the turret, and she was just going in, and she was getting off a little bit on shooting the turret. But anyways, so they got through that, and the 1-star people shot 2 RPGs at them at the same time, and they went flying through the air, and they thought that they landed in front of the school, and it was like, yes, okay, we have 15 minutes, we can get there. And then during all of this, Mako's dad, her brother, and Guts, their dog, are trying to bring Senketsu to Ryuko. And the first time, Mako accidentally pulled down Reiko's pants when they were hanging from one of the streets, and they all, like, the brother, the dad, and the dog all got nosebleeds, because you know what that means in anime. They all got nosebleeds, and the dad crashed the truck. So the dad was like, son, you're going to have to take Senketsu to Reiko for me. And he was like, okay, I can do it. So he got on his bike, and then again, Michael pulled down Reiko's pants, and he crashed his bike. And Senketsu was pretty much like cussing them out, or without cussing them out, he was cussing them out and saying that they need to pay attention to the road. So Michael's little brother told Guts, he was like, I'm talking to you man to man, dog, and you're going to have to take this to Ryuko for me. And Guts was like, yes, I can do it. Well, he didn't say it, but that was his facial expression. So Guts was bringing Senketsu to her. So when Ryuko, and Mako made it to the school, this is when Guts came up, and Michael, of course, just like fell over and pulled down Reiko's pants, and Guts had this massive nosebleed and was sliding in his own blood. It was really gross. And then, out of nowhere, Michael kicked Guts, like, in the face, and Guts fell on the ground, and she took Senketsu. So it turns out that Michael was actually part of the disciplinary committee, and she just wanted to take Senketsu so she could overthrow the head of the academy, which I was thrown off. I really was thrown off by that. So she put on Senketsu, and of course, because she had absolutely no shame, she was able to do the link with Senketsu, and Senketsu was like, I'm sorry, but she has no shame. So, but when she went to try to hit Mako, she froze up and couldn't move. So pretty much Senketsu like could stop her from doing anything to them. So Reiko pretty much like whooped her ass and then took Senketsu back. And then Mako pretty much like ran away in shame because she didn't really run away in shame. They found out that they really weren't at the school. It was just another trap. And Michael pretty much like sent them literally all the way back to the very beginning of the obstacle course. And then it turns out that Ira, the other chair on the disciplinary committee, had heard everything that Michael had said to Reiko about like taking over the academy, and he expelled her. And then she was like laid on the ground groveling. But anyways, so after that, Ryuko and Mako and Guts found a like non-stop system to get to the school that normally like 3 and 4 stars can use, but no stars aren't allowed to use it, and they pretty much hijacked it and got to the school. Well, started heading towards the school, and they were going like full speed. And right before, like, it was literally 30 seconds left when they were about halfway up, and Raiko was like, we're not even going to be able to stop. I'm just going to have to do this. So she cut the wires, and they went flying into the school. And as they were, like, flying through the air, of course, her teacher was taking roll, and he said her name. But as he was saying her name, they flew through the window. You see, like, all the students fly up against the wall and all this kind of stuff. And then he says her name again, and you hear her walking, and she just sits down in her desk, and of course Mako and Guts are like asleep next to them, but as he said her name, she just raised her hand and said present. And that was the end of the episode. I was like, you went through all of that, and then you were just so cool, calm, and collective as he was saying your name, which technically she was late, but the fact that she was like in the room when he said her name, I guess that made it okay. So she will live another day to try to fight the head of the academy. But yeah, that's pretty much the end of the episode. But I'm really like falling in love with Kill la Kill. This show is pretty awesome, if I do say so myself. But yeah, so I'm running a little long because I had a lot to say about this episode. Well, I wanted to tell what happened in this episode for those of you who don't watch it. But anyways, I'm just going to go ahead and cut it short. So, as always, please remember to comment, rate, and subscribe. And as always, this is TsubakiSwagg saying adios.